You are listening to Waywut? This is a weekly rabbit hole podcast that goes into a variety of topics ranging from the supernatural to sports to science or anything else that we find interesting. We post episodes every Tuesday. We post on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and Pandora. Please follow us on any of those. If you prefer video, you can always subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you want to talk to us or keep up with any random information we decide to talk about, you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, X, whatever it's called, under @Waywut Podcast. That does it for all the self-promotion stuff. Thank you for listening, and here we go. Hello, and welcome to Waywut. My name is Darrell Holiday. I'm going to be the host on this episode, and I'm here along with the guy that spends his weekends looking for the Keebler elf tree, Jason.
I may have found it. I've got a few extra pounds around the middle.
I don't know if kids really even know about the Keebler elf tree anymore. I mean, that was always a big deal whenever, not a big deal, like, everybody's like, ooh, I want a Keebler elf tree t-shirt. But the commercials, it was always like establishing shot of the Keebler elf tree, and then you'd zoom in and there's a little, elf sweat thing, and you don't really see that anymore.
No, I see a few commercials from a Keebler not too long ago.
Yeah, but
so they're still relevant, but I don't know.
I mean, how much do people know about commercials anyways? I mean, between streaming and being able to skip commercials and crap,
True.
I mean, yeah.
They're missing out on them fudge stripe cookies.
Well, so today I'm just going to go kind of a little ranty now. And it's going to seem a little weird because it should be weird because I want to talk about cult stuff a bit.
All right.
So if being a cult leader wasn't so much work, I would totally do it. I mean, the end game of a cult is great. It's
it
like
requires a lot of long con. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, not just that. It's like being a televangelist without drawing any of the attention of the IRS.
Yeah.
You don't have the IRS crawling up your ass trying to like take your stuff. You get people to give you stuff, and all you have to do is just make promises. That's it. You can just promise stuff.
And be a good talker.
Yeah. I mean, if the person ends up with whatever it is that they wanted, then you get the credit for it. And if the person doesn't get what they want, then you get to blame them for not believing or sacrificing enough. It's all your fault.
Yeah. Believe harder.
Yeah. You didn't worship me enough. I mean, the main thing that would stop me on this is that it is a ton of work to build this stuff up. I mean, I don't think anybody gives cult leaders enough credit for the hard work that they put in.
I don't think anybody gives cult leaders credit for anything.
Yes. No, they don't. I mean, because that is a ton of work. I mean, first thing you have to do is you have to find that first batch of suckers. Yep. And I can't imagine that's easy. I mean, think of how many random people you have to walk up to and just spout whatever your nonsense is just to find, people that are empty enough to let you fill them up with your bullshit.
True. Well, that's the blessing of the internet these days. There's always people that have the same beliefs as you.
That is true. I mean, I imagine it, but it's still going to, when it comes to like getting, you get them to sell you money, I guess, but it's not the same as being able to, have somebody sell all their worldly possessions, give you the cash, and then live wherever you tell them to live so that they give you stuff.
Right.
I mean, if you want that route, where people like give up their entire lives to live for you, you have to be able to walk up to complete strangers and be like, "Excuse me, you look sad and lonely. Would you like to learn about the holy magic pickle that was found at the sacred McDonald's in Grassfoot, Nebraska?"
What an oddly specific thing to worship.
I mean, I'm not saying I don't have ideas. I'm just saying I'm too lazy to enact them. I mean, it would get old after a while. I mean, you'd have to be very outgoing as a cult leader. Like car salesman levels of outgoing. And
absolutely.
I'm not there. I can't do it. I would have like the first person I'd, try to talk to about the holy magic pickle and they would just, be like, shut the hell up and get out of my face, or that all of a sudden they would convert me to their religion or something, because, I'd be like, you're so right, I'm so wrong, I'm on the bad path. I mean, the other option, is you could always join a cult and worm your way to the top and then break off a chunk of it for yourself, or you get the leader to leave it to you whenever they die. I mean, that's what David Koresh did. I mean,
he left it to somebody before they got raided?
No, he inherited it, sort of. So, like, there was already an established cult, and then he weaseled his way to the top of it, and started, like, worming his way into, like, the old lady that was running it, and instead of it going to her son, he got it to go to him. And it worked out really good for him until it didn't.
until that day.
Yeah, until it did, until the ATF was like, you know what? We've never burned a bunch of children alive before.
What shall we do today?
I mean, how many opportunities do you get to do that? I mean, which leads me to this point. I mean, there's a lot of risk going through that route, because what happens if you get to the top and you find out that the leadership are all castrated or something? Or
Geldings.
or you find yourself, trying to depose a cult leader that isn't the money hungry type or the pervert type, and they turn out to be the bloodthirsty type.
Plenty of those in history.
Yeah, it's like, guess I'd rather get a regular job every day that doesn't have the risk of me, getting ground up and fed to sex slaves or something. I mean, I guess the other option is to actually try to be a televangelist and work your way up through one of their businesses.
You have the hair for it.
I mean, they use the same tactics as cults. The only real difference is their workers probably get health insurance. So, I mean, you definitely wouldn't want to try to do it from the ground up, because that's a ton of work. I mean, that's just as much work as a regular cult leader. I mean,
yeah, it's kind of cult-like.
Yeah, even with, like, all these built-in believers out there, like, oh yeah, I'm Christian, whatever. It's just too much competition. I'm in Texas. There's a church every 3 or 4 blocks.
Yeah, probably more than that.
I mean, and then aside from those legitimate churches, there's all these, like, TV preachers, which there are already a ton of, that are already robbing everybody blind. I think what I would try to do is to like get a job with Joel Osteen or Kenneth Copeland's organization, and then just try to work my way up and steal some of their congregation. Just like
usurper.
Yeah, just try to worm your way in there and, like, be like, oh yeah, no, it's great and all, but
it could be better.
I mean, and you're less likely to get killed if you screw up, so that's a plus.
True.
But I think the ones that get to that level, like the Joel Osteen level,
they've killed before.
Yeah, they could probably, and on top of that, I think they could sniff out con men.
Oh yeah, because they're one themselves.
Your own. So your likelihood of success is pretty low, like almost like lottery ticket low. So even this is starting to seem like too much work. So I think the lesson from all of this rambling is that, yes, televangelists and cult leaders are morally dubious, but they are not lazy.
No, they hustle for that money.
They hustle until they don't have to anymore. And that what kills me is the ones that have been doing it for like 30 years. And it's like, how much money is enough?
Yeah. The hypocrisy is running rampant.
It's like, dude, you go buy an island somewhere and, like, not have to do this anymore. Make room for other con men, damn it.
Yeah, when the churches get to the size of stadiums, maybe it's time to quit taking money.
No. Because Joel Osteen's still young. He could still do it for another 10 years. He may not have island money yet. Or maybe he does have island money. Maybe he's going for South American country money.
He definitely has private jet money.
Oh, yeah.
Get out of anything I do wrong money.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I still think he has time, but, like, the really old guys, they need to give it up so that younger con men can get up there. It's a tough economy.
True. Have you seen the HBO show called Gemstones?
I'm aware of it. I'm not a big Danny McBride fan. Like,
Huh.
I pretty much hate him and everything. I can't stand him at
He
all.
does play a douchebag really well.
He is all yes, he's always that, and it's just like, dude, I fucking hate you. It's like it's no matter what role he does, he channels high school bully, but not like the cool kind, like the kind that we went to school with, that like just rednecks with the can of
Skull
coke
Can.
egg in
Yeah.
there. Yes, ugh, bad flashbacks. All right, well, speaking of people making stuff up and suckers believing it. Remember whenever I was talking about Mount Shasta, where the
I do.
sisters, there were the sisters Bonnie and Judy,
And the
along with
weird as Uma and Poo or
their parents Ranamu and Ramu, and they came
Ronamu.
from Lemuria.
Oh.
Yeah, so today's topic is, what the hell is Lemuria? I
Ah,
teased that a while
yes.
back.
I've been
Yeah,
waiting for this.
yeah. So today we're going to learn all about Lemuria. Now, the easiest way to think about it is by comparing it to some things that people are already aware of. In this case, we're going to start with Atlantis. Atlantis is an alleged lost continent that showed up in some of Plato's writings when he was talking about the hubris of nations. It is speculated to be somewhere in the Mediterranean Sea or Atlantic Ocean. Now, take that myth, pick it up, move it to the Pacific and Indian Ocean, remove the highly regarded ancient philosopher. There you have it. Now you have the lost continent of Lemuria. You just, once you do all that, it's kind of the same.
Wait,
Now,
did you say Atlantis was a continent or just a big city?
it was a continent. It's the lost
Okay.
continent of Atlantis.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, but once you throw Lemuria over there, all the weird crystal worshiping hippies have this new ancient utopia to chase after. Because they don't have time to go to the East Coast and chase things down, but the West Coast, it's right there in their backyard. They can go look for it. So there's a smidge more to it than just picking it up and moving it over. So instead of an ancient philosopher, it was a zoologist that originally proposed Lemuria's existence. In 1864, so not like
Yesterday.
Atlantis, where no, it's not like Atlantis, where it's ancient Rome or anything, where people have been looking for this for a couple thousand years. It's only been a couple hundred. 1864, Philip Sclater,
Sclater.
theorized that there was a continent that sunk beneath the Indian Ocean. And the reason he theorized this is that he was trying to explain how how they discovered lemur fossils that were on the island of Madagascar and in India, but these same fossils, you couldn't find them on the African continent or in the Middle East.
Mm-hmm.
And with it being lemur fossils in particular, he came up with the imaginative name of Lemuria.
How creative.
I give him credit, because honestly, whenever I get to what some of the people like to say about Lemuria, like Bonnie and Judy and Ronamu and all that,
And poo-poo.
being that they refer to themselves as like Lemurians and stuff, and it's like, so your name, you just did y'all
Did you
change
go
your
with it?
name in 1864 or something?
Just like
Hey,
the mascot episode we did, where they were just given a name and they just stuck with it.
well, I no, it's more because all that stuff is bullshit. But I don't mean to spoil it. I'm sorry, but this lost continent is not real. Yeah. Now, all the things that I read about this zoologist is he was respected and well educated. It's important to note that at the time, whenever he had this theory, continental drift was still hotly debated. And he was just proposing it as a theory, just to kind of explain how this could be, on how you could get these bones across an ocean, but not in the areas closer to them. Um, he it wasn't like some like he wasn't going crazy saying this is the only way, or walking around with the Lemurian flag screaming for people to believe in him. No, he was a scientist.
He was following the science, trying
Yeah.
to explain it.
So I mean, if had the science, figured out, had they been capable of observing the ocean floor so that they could develop the theory of plate tectonics, you know, and all that, and the explanation of continental drift being his lifetime, Sclater would have been like, "Oh, dude, that's awesome. Yes, I like that." So, as said, Lemuria is not real. I'm not. I'm perfectly happy and willing to say this now. The fun here, though, is going to be learning about what people made out of this zoologist hypothesis that was thoroughly disproven.
They're going to go with it and just run with it.
Oh, yeah. So now that we know the humble beginnings of Lemuria, what did people do with the idea of this new lost continent?
Start a religion.
Yep. One of the first things they did was religion, but not, it wasn't one of the big ones like, Christians or Islams. It was one of those good old fashioned culty religions.
Yes.
Theosophy was a religion that popped up in the United States in 1875, about a decade after Sclater made his Lemuria proposal. A Russian aristocrat, a Civil War veteran, and an Irish occultist walk into a bar. No, they all got together and they created this philosophy/religion that incorporated Hinduism, Buddhism, Neoplatonism, as well as some Christian elements and things along those lines. They basically just
They
kind of
got it
grabbed
all.
everything and just mushed it all together. It's super complicated and was what eventually inspired a lot of New Age religions. They're like, oh, dude, they got some great ideas. Let's just take this and, change it to a holy magic pickle.
Yeah, to what we want.
Yeah. So for the purpose of our discussions, Theosophy, I'm going to be talking about the Theosophy writings of Helena Blavatsky. She's the Russian aristocrat that I mentioned earlier.
The Russian aristocrat.
Yeah, so I'm going to be going off of her writings. I'll talk about some writings that eventually spurned off of this later, where people like edited her stuff. But I think it's more important to kind of stick with the OG. So in her writings, Blavatsky wrote about root races.
Root?
Root,
Okay.
Root, root races that were the first people on Earth, that were formed out of pure spirit at the North Pole and Lemuria. So they're, just like ghost people, I guess.
They just manifest them out.
Mm-hmm. So Theosophy itself incorporates so much more than just Lemuria. I mean, Lemuria is just a part of it. It's just, I grabbed onto this because they, it's really, really just a small part, but I'm just going to focus on that because this is one of those things where it's like, I could do a whole episode on Theosophy. I don't want to. So I
It
mean, like,
sounds so riveting.
whatever I did Mount Shasta and I learned, came across Lemuria and I was like, oh, that's interesting. I want to do a show on that. Whenever I'm sitting there doing all these reading on Theosophy, I'm just like, dude, this could be a whole episode. I ain't doing it. This is just too much. So, if anyone really wants that, you can ask Jason to do it. But personally, I'm not going to spend an entire episode making fun of some people's religion, regardless of how ridiculous it is.
Yeah, they're entitled to do
Yeah.
or believe what they want.
Yeah. So a whole episode, no, but I definitely will spend a few minutes poking at someone's religion for the sake of an episode. I'm not going to do a whole episode. It's mainly just going to be things that are tied to the religion, but yeah, I'm going to probably poke some fun at it. All right, so in Blavatsky's writings, Lemurians were the third root race.
When you say root race, what is that?
Root.
Like
root race. Like the root of a plant.
Okay. That still don't make sense.
All All right, so whenever you grow a plant, it doesn't grow out of the air and into the ground. It starts from the root.
So she's
And
saying these people grew from the.
these are the roots of humanity.
Okay.
Root races.
Okay. Now I get it. Holy crap.
Jesus, Jason. All right, so they were the third root race that subraces such as humans came from. She also had them predating Atlanteans. So they're, according to her, they're Lemurians for their Atlanteans. I think that makes them higher beings than Atlanteans. So I mean,
They got seniority.
Yeah, so Lemurians had that going for them. I mean, it's kind of hard to tell. Like I said, I'm not going to read her books. It's just I was doing the best I can, just read synopsises without like banging my head and stuff. Like, I just want to know about this fake island. So later, after Helena died, William Scott Elliot and a guy named Charles Webster Leadbeater. I mean,
Leadbeater.
I would think it would be Leadbeater, but no, it is spelled Leadbeater. That is a Leadbeater.
Oh man.
So they took over writing the Theosophical texts. So they're living my dream. They're taking over the cult without having to do all the damn work. So Leadbeater, and I will continue to call him that, claimed to be communing with the Theosophical masters through astral clairvoyance. He would then well, no, because he would get all this from the masters, and then he'd transmit his findings to William Scott Elliot, who would write them all down and publish them in a book with himself listed as the sole author.
Oh my God. This guy a Jedi or something?
I mean, I don't know, but he's, like I said, he's living my dream. I mean, I would, get to use the work and effort of other people to kind of raise yourself up. That's awesome. That is the dream. That's what I want with my life. I need you to start doing like all the work for this so that I can, just sit there and ride your coattails.
Shit, it's been a lot of work.
I need you to do more. Take over the editing, write my episodes.
Oh, you don't want that. We'll have another old person ran episode.
Oh, dear God. All right. Now, the reason I bring these two guys up that took over is their contributions to Lemurian lore are pretty fun. So, according to this kooky little duo, Lemurians were 15 feet tall, had brown skin, flat faces, but no foreheads, and they had big jaws.
So they're ugly.
Well, at this point, imagine like an Easter Island statue.
Yeah.
Except on a person.
Dum dum no want gum gum.
Yeah. Furthermore, they said that they could see sideways like birds and could walk forward and backward effortlessly.
I'm pretty sure we could walk forward and backward effortlessly too.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe it was harder back then. I mean, like between like all the, the medicinal heroin and cocaine and
big ass heads
and all the medicines being like 85% alcohol. Maybe walking backwards is a pretty big fucking accomplishment back then. They're like, wow, this dude's awesome. It's like an acrobat.
Look at him do it so effortlessly.
He didn't have to think about it or nothing.
For such a word that means easy, it's such a hard word to say.
So, God damn it, Jason. Stop ruining my episode. All right. So, I mean, with 15-foot tall beings here, you'd have to be worried about their poor mama's hoo-ha's with the birthing, something like that. But nay, you do not. For they hatched from eggs.
Oh, of course they did. Giant ass eggs.
Yeah, no, they totally, that's how they reproduced until they started screwing animals and bringing about our ape-like human ancestors. Because That's what spiritual beings with no foreheads do. It's like, dude, see that zebra over there?
Yeah.
You dare me? I mean, you don't have to dare me, but come on, dare me. Come on, please. Will you dare me? Come on, please.
I'm gonna do it anyway.
You said you dare me, right? Ah! Let me some zebra ass. As for Lemuria itself, he kept it simple. It was in the Pacific, and it just sank. Just how islands do. They just sink.
Yeah,
and
somebody
whatever.
unplugged it and just went down the drain.
So, enough of this little cooking bunch. About 30 years after Blavatsky, went the whole religious route with Lemuria. Mm-hmm. So, we got a guy named Frederick Spencer Oliver who wrote a book that targeted the occult audience that was growing in the late 1800s. So, like back in the late 1800s, the occult and spiritualism and all this, that's what like well-to-do people were all about. It's like, ooh, yes, let's talk to spirits and unwrap mummies and take bites out of them.
What else are they going to do?
I mean, they totally did that. So, according to Frederick, he didn't author the book, but essentially took mental dictation from a spirit known as Philos, the Thebetan, not Tibetan, Thebetan.
Jeez.
According to Philos, the survivor of Lemuria, which sunk, of course, he lived in complex tunnels beneath Mount Shasta. This is the first mention of that, of that really fun place where Bonnie and Judy came from, Telos. That was their little, in the mountain city. He wrote or dictated that the city was covered in fur carpet floors and jeweled walls.
And what kind of walls?
Jewel covered.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because that's what you want on your walls. Is tacky ass jewels all over it. I mean, it's a lot better than that fake wood paneling that was on trailers back in the 80s. Philos and Frederick also said you could find these lost Lemurians on the surface at Mount Shasta, wandering around in white robes.
Oh, there's the white robes again.
Dude, so I was in Northern California, like a couple weeks ago, I guess, and I was disappointed. I mean, I had an amazing time, don't get me wrong. I was disappointed that Mount Shasta was further away than I thought, because I was in Sacramento, and it was still like 3 hours away. And I was like, no, I'd rather go to Napa Valley and then Lake Tahoe. So, I mean, otherwise I would totally just go up and look at weird hippies and, make fun of them. So
get a good firsthand experience.
Yeah. Philos and Frederick, because I think they both deserve credit. The Tibetan master should not be neglected like that other poor sap that I'm not even going to mention his name since he wasn't credited. This, of course, helped spark yet another religion. Frederick didn't start it, though. Someone else capitalized on his work instead. See, I mean, it doesn't seem hard whenever these people do it.
Just come in and take over.
I know. I really want to figure out a way to do this. The Lemurian Fellowship is a school that bases its instruction on Lemurian philosophy. The place that nobody knew about until the late 1800s. That, was just an explanation for continental drift and plate tectonics before we knew about that. It was, of course, where most great philosophy schools are founded. This was founded in Chicago. The philosophy hub of the world. In 1936, where highly advanced elders revealed the Lemurian philosophy to a physician. Nothing I was able to find explained how it was revealed. If it was a telegram, telephone, smoke signals,
an email.
Not back in 1936. Don't be ridiculous.
Hey, they were ahead of times.
Serious.
Hey, they were ahead of all of us.
No, he was a physician
in 1936 that somehow this magical elder imparted this philosophy on them. They teach about reincarnation, karma, Christ's precepts, because Jesus's lessons, I'm sorry, they're good. Even if you're not like, you're not a religious person, and like he's sitting there telling you to like go out and do bad things. He's like, no, help poor people, help people that are hurting. Oh, okay, yeah, that was his thing. And kind of the Buddhist thing that they also believe the Buddhist thing that you keep getting born over and over to gain knowledge and wisdom until you reach perfection. Where it's just this endless cycle of like, you're gonna go through, you're gonna get suffer, you're gonna do this and feel bad, and one of these days you'll finally be spiritually good enough to achieve nirvana. Except they don't. This one's just more perfection than nirvana. They don't want to take that away from the Buddhists, I guess. Now with this one, there are still followers of this today that still believe in the lost continent of Lemuria. They feel that various
I need a Journey song about like that.
About what? Oh,
don't stop believing.
Oh, yeah. They feel... God, that was such a bad joke. They feel that various megalithic structures, big rock structures, on Pacific Islands, Asia, and South America are evidence to support the existence of Lemuria. Again, though, continental drift, whatever, but whatever. For the most part, Lemuria seems to be just a buzzword nowadays that various new age religions and shaman figures just toss out.
It's so hip.
Well, it's mystical. That's it. I mean, like, if you say things like meditation and nirvana and crap like that, you're always going to find that. I found a website about a Hawaiian kahuna that claimed to have Lemurian ancestors. The main thing of note on why I bring this up is that when they announced her death on the website in 2020, they said she was kidnapped by angels.
They're going to bring her back? What do they want for her?
I mean, if they did, they would need Liam Neeson to pray on their behalf. I'm a Lemurian.
And what was their ransom?
Hey, you're stomping on my joke. I'm a Lemurian with a certain set of skills. I'll come to heaven and I'll fucking kill you. So, yeah, now don't stop on my joke. Mine was better than yours. Ransom. Dated.
Hey, they kidnapped her. They're going to want something.
Yeah, well, they kept kidnapping Liam Neeson's kid like 3 times.
Yeah, what a terrible dad.
Yeah. I think they should have named the second Taken movie Look Who's Taken 2. Would have did better in movie theaters. You threw me off that it even screwed up my Liam Neeson impersonation. I'm pissed off at you right now.
Oh.
Jason, I have a set of skills. If you fuck up one of my jokes again, I'll find you and I'll kill you.
You know where I live.
Well, it won't be hard then. All right. Now, I cannot discuss Lemurians without bringing up Amy Carlson. She's someone else that I mentioned in the Mount Shasta episode. She was the cult leader that came from Dallas. She was like a McDonald's restaurant manager.
Yeah. Well.
She was the one that, aside from dying of COVID and her followers keeping her mummified corpse, she claimed that she lived in Lemuria and Donald Trump was her dad.
Gosh, he gets brought up in all kinds of circles.
I mean, I don't know if she was claiming that while she was working as a McDonald's manager in Dallas. It would have been some weird conversations. Like,
hey, you know who my dad is?
Someday my dad's going to be huge. He's going to be huge.
He's going to be tremendous.
Yeah.
Maybe the best one ever.
I mean, and here's my other thing that I'm wondering about this is Trump the Lemurian, Or did he bang it out with a Lemurian lady? I mean, I could see him shelling out like a bunch of money to have sex with an ancient 15-foot tall woman.
Yeah, I bet it's a long list.
Oh yeah, no. I imagine his list his list is probably way worse than what mine was whenever I was a young single man. My little check boxes. It's like,
I'm in
okay, I got this.
a long list of people waiting in line to hit a 15-foot woman.
Oh, really? I don't think I would add that one to my list. That's a little too. That's
I don't
that's
know, the
that's
guy on
too
Game of
tall.
Thrones like the big women.
All right, so I mean, a 7-foot tall woman. Yeah, I can see that. 15-foot tall woman. No, that's gonna feel weird. I don't want somebody that's gonna like cradle me like a baby whenever I'm crying afterwards. Whenever I didn't satisfy her. It's okay.
There.
It's I can't believe it. You made me feel so small. Anyway. Now, there's also the New Age belief in star people. This is the belief that extraterrestrials left bits of their DNA behind, and so there are certain people that carry those species abilities within their DNA.
Oh, like
You know,
Star-Lord from uh,
except
Guardians
powers.
of the Galaxy,
I
huh?
mean, he didn't really have. I mean, his big power is that he could handle holding a ball. I mean, like seriously. Uh, these people, though, they say they get, you may have hidden powers within you that are written into your DNA. And I found this nifty website that offers marketing services and one-on-one coaching for potential star seeds for the reasonable fees ranging from 888 to 2,222 British pounds. I don't know why they used repeating numbers like that, but I imagine it's something very starseedish.
So these people get paid to help bring out your star quality or your
Your
inner.
starseed things, yes.
Oh, so it's kind of like on Deadpool too, where he injects you with whatever he injects you with it and try to get the superhero to come out.
Yes, except less sciency and more scammy.
Okay.
So, but just in case, here are some signs that you are one of the rare, and they are rare, Lemurian or Atlantean star seeds.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what makes them different. You have powerful supernatural and healing abilities. You're gifted with psychic and clairvoyant abilities. That was all one bullet point.
Damn.
I didn't bunch all that together myself. That's the way they bunch it together. You have supernatural and healing abilities, which I think that would just be supernatural abilities anyways.
Mhm.
And you're gifted with psychic and clairvoyant abilities. Again, you know, supernatural. It's kind of,
Yeah.
The
I'll leave
next
that
one,
box unchecked.
oh, to further make my point, the next one is you are instinctive and intuitive, which seems very redundant to the psychic trait. You're a team player and flourish in social situations. So there are no loner Lemurians.
That sounds like a personality test.
Oh yeah, no, come on. I'll, you have a remarkable capacity for empathy. Ooh, I might be part Lemurian.
So are rats.
You possess highly advanced knowledge and wisdom. If you pay the money, I guess that means you automatically fail this one.
Yeah.
You're just done. You're peaceful, loving, and compassionate. No assholes allowed. So I guess I'm not a Lemurian after all.
Yeah. I like to fight.
Oh God, no, you don't. You might be a Lemurian. You're a natural born leader and teacher. I don't think you come across too many of those joining weird religions. Natural
No,
born leaders. If they
no.
do, they're doing it for the same reason I want to.
To take over.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they don't want people that could totally take over one day. They want people just to follow behind them.
Yeah. You feel like an outsider or misfit. What happened to social and team player?
Yeah. Yeah, how
So
can you be both?
Yeah. No, I mean, so they do this, of course, because they want everyone to feel at least some of those.
Yeah, cast
Like
a
that.
wide net.
Yeah, because how are they going to get that money? How how are they going to get them bands? Got to get them
Well,
bands. Did I use it right?
yeah, I don't know. I
Oh,
used all of
okay.
them wrong last time.
All right. On to the next one. The Path of Oracle.
Like the Matrix.
Well, this is an organization that offers a variety of treatments, retreats, conferences, and courses for all those old souls out there that are descended from Lemuria.
What's their acronym?
Pooh?
Pooh.
It didn't have an acronym. It just said Path of Oracle. Again, a, this is a place that is based on a place that was just theorized about lemur bones that was completely,
Grew
disproven.
legs. Yeah, it
You,
totally grew legs.
I mean, you see that Madagascar fits against India. They were together at one point. But whatever. They offer such things as multidimensional healing, Lemurian past life regression, Lemurian rites of water,
Rice of water.
rites of water, like religious rites.
Okay.
Like it's basically a water blessing.
Okay, like baptism. Okay.
And here's a more confusing one: Lemurian star mothers. I don't even know what that means, and I couldn't get an explanation for it. And then, of course, a Hawaiian luau with a fire ceremony.
Talking about diversifying.
Well, I mean, it is in Hawaii. I mean, if you're going to get people to shell out thousands upon thousands upon thousands of dollars to come stay at your weird new age hippie place where you can go sit there and just make up things as long as you just wave your arms in a very spiritual motion and like channel things in your head and be like, I am sensing great pain in you, and they're like, I am hurting you
It
know
does hurt.
So, but I mean, if you're interested in, poo, the path of the oracle, you can learn more at the 2024 Mount Shasta conference.
Oh, there's a conference. That's
Yeah.
wonderful.
And with this, I feel like I'm done because at this point, people have already capitalized this on ways that I could only dream of. And I'm sad now.
Oh yeah,
I
they
mean,
monetized something that didn't even happen.
yeah, I mean, at this point, since they've already like done Lemuria to death, do you think, we can make a religion surrounding Oz or Hogwarts or something? I mean, they're just as fake.
We might be late to the party on that one. I bet there is a religion based on Hogwarts and all their beliefs.
Oh, dear God, I hope not. All right. Well, I am going to go ahead and call it quits for now. And I'm going to go commune with my Marvel Cinematic Universe High Elders to just, see if I can discover the meaning of life.
Okay. I'm gonna go get on that list for that 15-foot woman.
You ain't got Trump money. Trump don't even have Trump money.
Not anymore. Everybody keep coming after him.
Well, hey, for those of you that the fives and fives of you that are listening, if you want to tell us what fictional land you want to base your religion on, we will gladly steal that idea from you so that I can become a cult leader at last.
Yeah.
And while we read through those lists, you can join us next time whenever Jason will tell us about some stuff that'll hopefully make us say, wait, what? Bye.
See y'all later.
Thank you for listening to Waywut. We really appreciate it. Remember that we post episodes every Tuesday and would love for you to rate us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, or Pandora. If you are watching us on YouTube, throw us a comment, subscribe, and do all the other things that YouTube likes for you to do. You can stalk us on Facebook and X/Twitter with the handle Waywut Podcast. Once again, thank you for hanging out with us for a little bit, and join us next time when we'll get you to say, "Wait, what?"